What's up everybody, I want to give you some tips and tricks to boost your gameplay in Expedition 33. Thank you for joining me for this video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. Starting right off, on your way to the Gomage, you want to look for Richard. He's pretty easy to spot in his red outfit. Chat with him and he is going to give you a unique quest item, Richard's son's uniform. Not too far away from Richard, you're going to find another person to chat with. This is Eloise. You want to talk with her so that you can go through a tutorial on using some of Gustav's skills and get a reward for completing that. The key to getting this done is to reach Overcharge on your arm, and then you're going to use Gustav's skill Overcharge in order to defeat the balloon with a single strike. And your reward for doing this is a color of Lumina. You're also going to want to stop at the painter in order to go through another tutorial and get some good rewards. For this, simply follow his instructions to dodge the attacks and you will be granted a reward. He gives you one recoat for completing this task. After the Gomage, you're going to end up at this Expedition send-off party, the Festival de Expedition. There are 3 vendors here. We have one with a Picto, one that has a different hairstyle for Gustav, and then the third with a quest item that is unique to the game. You want to talk to 2 people. The first person is right here. This gentleman is going to ask you 3 different questions. You need to answer those correctly to receive an additional token.
You're kidding. This is your question.
Yes. When did our world break apart and our Luminas city get thrown into the middle of the ocean? When was the fracture?
67 years ago.
Brilliant. I concede. Which was the first expedition to depart for the continent?
Expedition 0.
Correct. What is a Lumina?
Abilities you internalize by using a Pictos in battle after enough times.
Well done, well done.
Not really. I mean, I created the Lumina converter, so...
I hereby officially end our feud. With your departure, Lumiere loses a brilliant light. And a good friend.
You big softy.
All right, here's a token. Go and spend it on something.
Once you've got your first token from him, head down to the docks. You're going to find Mayele down there, and you will challenge her to a duel in order to win another token.
Not bad for the oldest man in Lumiere, eh?
Congratulations, you beat a teenager. Take this token as your well-deserved prize.
Once you have all 3 tokens, simply head back to the vendors and buy each one of the items. You'll end up with 2 quest items, the old key and weird Pictos that you'll use during your gameplay. You're also going to end up with a hairstyle. You can change that immediately if you don't like it. Simply go to your character, click on wardrobe, and then equip the hairstyle that you want. Also, before you leave the festival, we can complete one of our side missions. Simply run up to Jules and have a conversation with him. This is where you're going to use Robert's son's uniform. After some conversation, Jules will give you the new outfit for Gustav. Just like the hair, go into your character screen, click on wardrobe, and then you can equip the crimson uniform. Now for a quick leveling tip, when you find fights that are near flags, you can reset those fights and go into those fights multiple times. There are a couple reasons for doing this. Number 1 is leveling. When you go into these fights, pay attention to how much experience you're gaining from the fight and make a decision on whether it's worth it to repeat that to level up. The other reason to continue doing this is to level up your Pictos. If you have Pictos equipped, you need to win a fight 4 times in a row to master that Picto so that all of your party members can use it as a Lumina. Mastering your Pictos is very important so that they can be equipped as Luminas on your other character, allowing them to benefit from the passive of that Picto. Once you've mastered a Picto, go into your Picto screen, and then you're going to head to Luminas by pressing C. You can then choose to spend your Lumina points in order to unlock that Lumina for that character. On the note of equipping Luminas and Pictos, you should always buy the color of Lumina when you can. These are very important for giving each of your characters a lot more survivability or a lot more damage. You should think of these as additional stat points for each one of your characters. You'll be able to apply those color of Lumina to each one of your characters once you're back at your camp. The more color of Lumina you apply to your character, the more points you'll have to spend on these Luminas for that character. Once you reach the Gestural Village, you can use the weird Picto to actually upgrade one of your Pictos. You're going to head towards the chief's house, take a left into the Gestural Bazaar, and then you'll find this gentleman here. You want to interact with him. He's going to upgrade your Augmented Aim Picto from level 3 to level 5. It will consume the weird Pictos out of your inventory. Once you reach Old Lumiere, you will get separated from your team. You'll spend some time playing as one team, and then you'll be able to take control of Mayele again. When you hear the voice line, "Where's the treasure?" you'll know you're in the area of the gate where you use the old key. Just follow along to find it.
I never said there was treasure. Good stuff.
If you want the absolute best weapon for Mayele, you'll want to defeat CL in the arena at the Gestural Village in order to obtain her best weapon. You'll also want to head over to the hidden Gestural Village. There are 4 unique Pictos that you can get, one from each one of the 4 fights in this arena competition. Between this weapon and the specific Pictos from this arena, that's how I'm able to get Mayele to do massive amounts of damage when she's fighting alone. And even when she's fighting in a group, she's still able to just dish out an absolute massive amount of damage. Almost every hit from her hits the 9999 cap for damage. One of the things that's really important in the game is the order at which your characters play, and I'm going to show you how to change that order. So if I want Mayele to go first, what I would do is remove the other party members by highlighting over them and pressing E to add them or remove them from the party. Then if I want Loon to go second, I would add her to the party, and if I want CL to go last, add her to the party. That's going to make the order 1, 2, 3 because it takes the order that you added them. You can't remove all party members, so you're always going to remove the party members that you want in second and third place, leave the party member that you want in first, and then add the other party members after that. My next tip is to try fights that you might think you're not ready for. Sometimes you can learn a lot from these fights. Timing and how the timing changes and progresses throughout the game, as well as how you need to continue to level up your characters to be more effective in these fights. Additionally, if you are able to succeed in these fights, you are rewarded with really good items behind some of these amazing fights. You don't lose anything if you die except for a little bit of time, but the knowledge that you gain from just trying is really important later on in game. I also feel like a lot of these early on fights that may look very ominous are actually pretty well balanced to where if you know what you're doing and you know how to go into the fight, you can actually be successful. Although there are still some that I've left behind and I have yet to return to. I hope you found these tips helpful. I do have other guides right here on my channel where I dissect the game a little bit deeper. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't be out of whack. There's another video on the screen right now that I think you'll enjoy.